Thank you, Itumukwena. We love you too. What would this life be without the Vibe Yama 2000? Thank you, Itumukwena.
I have a request, Braden.
Yes, Strip Preacher.
Please, can you cut off Itu's comments and make them a post on TikTok as a remembrance of our celebrations with this day? Thank you.
Definitely. Definitely, that is loading for sure. It will happen. Thank you, Street Preacher, for that reminder, guys. Before we move to, okay, there's no new person on the panel. We just about 10 seconds towards our first 1 million likes for the evening. So there we go. Thank you. Thank you. 1 million likes in 1 hour 40 minutes. Well done, guys. Great stuff. Somebody wanted to say something.
Sorry, Braden.
Yes,
I am still also waiting for Mr. Mtusi to answer that question that was asked by official minister. Okay?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. Mutusi, I'm not sure if you still remember official minister's question.
No, Braden, I couldn't help but laugh, Shem. It is a vibe.
Yes.
She's a vibe and a half. She knows how to celebrate.
Yes.
I'm telling you, if you could have her at the Siyangoba rally, that will be held on I think it's 25 May or something like that,
yes,
at FNP Stadium, with one of the people who will be having the mic. People will go to the polls knowing who to vote for, and they would be ready.
Yes.
Okay, passing. I was not talking politics. If you are in politics, you heard what I say, and you heard me very well. If you are not in politics, then it's fine. I understand. The question that was asked was, Ngomezulu entered this thing only when within a trial started.
Yes.
Is he now going to say, because we are now going on the main trial, I did not hear what the other witnesses were saying, can I please have an opportunity to read the transcripts so that I can familiarize myself with this? If you remember very well, when he started, he said he's up to speed.
Yes.
He said he's been following the trial very well.
Yes.
He's up to speed, and there is nothing that there's no need for a remand.
Yes.
He's willing and ready to jump onto the bandwagon immediately and continue with the case. So if he pulls that tomorrow, it would be weird, because he said he was okay with everything. So I don't think that's one of the tricks that can be pulled tomorrow. But if they are pulled, guys, I did say that unfortunately, if you are in Judge Mokgoatlheng's situation, you must give people a chance to delay. Because if you don't, they may use that as a ground for appeal. One day I was listening to a case in court, and an accused was stopped. At the time when he was stopped, they came to him, they searched him. They just gave him the warrant. They didn't explain what the search warrant was about. They had a search warrant for his car. They gave him the search warrant, and then they continued to search the car. The contention that the defense had was that, yes, when you arrested him, you explained his rights to him. But prior to you searching his car, you knew that he was a suspect already. What you were supposed to do as a police officer on duty was to explain the warrant to him, because it is a complicated document. It may be written in plain English, and the person may understand English. Worse if they don't understand English, especially in this area where I am staying, where people speak Afrikaans in majority. Literally, from here, 400 kilometers up to Springbok and beyond, people there speak Afrikaans, and they do not like to be addressed in English. They look at you in a very funny way if you do that. So it is because they do not understand the language. So you need to explain to them. That is why even when a sheriff gets to your house to go and drop papers, they need to explain exactly what those papers are. They can see you can read. I mean, you've got a tie on. It means you are from work. Even if even if where you work you don't speak English, there are people at your place, at your workplace, who can explain the summons to you, but they still need to explain everything to you. So the issue of rights and all that, I'm saying an acquittal can come as a result of that people's rights were not explained. But I'm not talking about this case. I was telling you about that other case.
Yes.
Ngomezulu can tomorrow ask that he be given an opportunity to read the transcripts. But I don't see that happening because it would be very disingenuous of him. When this matter started, he said he's up to speed with everything. He does not need transcripts. He said it on record,
Yes.
that he does not need transcripts. He's just there for the trial within a trial. Now he's been appointed for the main trial. If he comes up with that, really, it would be disingenuous, but we cannot stop him. And the judge will not be able to stop him. At this stage, Sbosh, appeal is too early. Nobody can appeal this case now. You can't. You appeal a case that is finalized, where judgment and sentence has been handed down, or where judgment has been handed down and you are a prosecutor and you are not happy with the outcome. You cannot appeal a case in the middle of it. You can apply for a recusal of the presiding officer, like I said. You can also apply for a review on a particular aspect, not on everything. You cannot say, oh, let's stop here. Judges, help us and tell us if the presiding officer is doing a good job. There's no judge who's going to give you an opportunity to do that. I hope that answers the question, Haji and official.
Thank you. Are you answered, official minister?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's not forget to continue double tapping, guys. Remember, after 1 million, that number, that zero, does not update up until it's 100K. So let's continue to double tap, and thank you to all our gifters. We appreciate those gifts. Let me quickly see if there's... Okay, Mutusi, there's a question here by Tiloti. He's asking me, Bradeni, please explain the special entry 317. I think you can assist us with that one.
I don't have the Criminal Procedure Act in front of me, and if I used my phone to try and get to the Criminal Procedure Act, I may not be audible.
I can
but I
read it
think
for
it is
you.
important. Yes, please read it.
Just a second. Let me do this.
We can have a break while Bradeni is still looking for that. I see Bradeni, we've got 1.1 M there. So we are dealing with millions.
Yes.
Abantu Inda
Yes, we are Gininda's people.
remaining. So we are loaded.
We are Gininda's surrogates. We are the millionaires. 317, 317.
There's another case that I saw in the middle of the, it is in this week, where they said the cold case team has finalized the case, and then it was in TikTok. I just don't remember who posted it, but the person was like, "Can't, how many Kinindas do we have?" It's only one. He's investigating more than one case, and you will find out that investigation in this case was finalized before these guys were arrested. So obviously he's not going to sit and investigate nothing until this one is finalized.
No.
He continues with other cases. For all we know, Matsela Koko's case is one of the cases that he's investigating at the moment. It is very possible.
All right, I found section 317 of the Criminal Procedure Act, and it reads as follows. Subject, special entry of irregularity or illegality, subsection 1. If an accused is of the view that any of the proceedings in connection with or during his or her trial before a high court are irregular or not according to the law, he or she, either during his or her trial or within a period of 14 days after his or her conviction, or within such extended period as may upon application, in brackets in this section referred to as an application of condonation, close brackets, on good cause be allowed to apply for a special entry to be made on the record, in brackets in this section referred to as an application for special entry, close brackets, stating in what respect the proceedings are alleged to be irregular or not according to law, and such a special entry shall, upon such application for a special entry, be made unless the court to which or the judge to whom the application for special entry is made is of the opinion that the application is not made bona fide, or that it is frivolous or upset, or that the granting of the application would be an abuse of the process of the court. That's subsection 1.
Tilo, in English, ne? I think I like how the Criminal Procedure Act is written.
Yes.
It's not as complicated as other acts. Even the Domestic Violence Act is very complicated sometimes for people to understand. But this act is plain. And I love the legislature on how they decided to do this thing with all the amendments and everything that has been done. Tilo is asking, can this application be made during a trial? Yes. It is just to say, Judge, you did not do the right thing here. Please make an entry so that you know at the time when we set the matter on appeal that we told you that you did not do something right at this stage. It is possible for the judge to correct themselves within a trial while a trial is still continuing, prior to the matter being sent on review. That's why 317 is applicable. I hope that answers the question, because sometimes you don't need to send the case for review, or you don't need to send it for appeal. You can just tell the presiding officer, look, you are wrong. They don't like being told you are wrong. You misdirected yourself. Presiding officers don't like that. The word they use is you misdirected, the court misdirected itself in deciding in this way, or in handling this case in a particular way. So yes, once that thing comes, then the judge can say, look, I'm not going to listen to you. You are wasting my time. That's what the section is saying. You are wasting my time. You are not basing your argument on fair grounds. You are just trying to play for the crowd. And I'm not going to entertain what you are saying. Let's continue with the case. Or, okay, sharp, I hear what you're saying. I am making such a special entry. I will refer to it at judgment. Or whatever decision that we made earlier by refusing you to call your witness and so on and so forth is now reversed. Because of the special entry, you can call your witness.
Yes.
Those are the options that the judge may have. I hope that answers your question, Tilo.
Thank you, Mutisi. Thank you, guys. I see my number has just changed at 1.1. I think officials saw it much earlier than me, so thank you for that. Coco Mama, Banabama 2000 bar is Coco Mama. Good evening.
Tsenya ni tsa o kuruza bradedi. Tsenya ni tsa o fetsa petrol. Rona re a kuruza.
Is Masemola.
Mara Masemola o kae mara batho ba modimo. O kae mara Masemola mara go isha so mara. Why Masemola a ka tlogela situation is so mara.
Yes.
A sa tlhaelli mara.
He's been given evidence.
Masemola o dila le evidence.
Yes.
You know, Bradeni, I don't know if I will be playing devil's advocate tonight or what I'll be doing by explaining this.
Yes.
But, you know, Judge Ratha, today what he did, if we all listened carefully to what he was doing in delivering his ruling, Judge Ratha did not go into the technicalities of admissibility per se. Judge Ratha sat there and he simply did something that I think people have been missing, even the defense themselves. And this is what I noticed that a lot of defense attorneys tend to miss. We explained, Bradeni, in this live just the day before. We said there is no way that Ratha can be expected to allow us to be given a version that in itself is contradictory. Bradeni, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Judge Ratha addressed the visions that were given. He simply sat there and he recited the stories that he had in front of him. Ratha said, the first defense that you gave, the story is that they did not even sign. And this is also going to answer the question as to why those confessions were actually admitted. The story was that we did not sign. I mean, we did not confess. What we did is we just signed. Right. Now, one has to go and weigh this version, because what a version is, it's a story. One has to go and weigh the story of we did not sign. I mean, we did not confess, we simply signed because
Okay,
we were...
Coco Mama, let me interrupt you just for a second. I see somebody saying no sound. Guys, can you hear Coco Mama? Because I see Sinandis is saying no sound. Can everybody hear? Okay, Melody says yes. They say yes. Okay, I think it's Sinandi's side. You can proceed.
Are we sure?
Yeah, everybody can hear.
All right. So, as I was saying, Bradeni, they gave a version that we did not confess. We were simply told to sign. Now, if you say that you did not confess, so meaning that there was no conversation at all between yourself and these officials that took the confessions, right? Or that you are alleging that these officials were simply given a statement that was already filled in and it was ready and prepared, and all you did was to append a signature based on the fact that you had been assaulted to do so. Right. Now, we've spoken about the issue of a story having to be reasonable. A reasonable person needs to be able to accept this story, because a version is truly as simple as it's a story. So now, if you are coming to tell us that you did not confess, but in actual fact, you sat in the office with these officials, then are you expecting us to because he even gave a story to say, so you are saying, in other words, you just came in there and you started talking about how you want to bath, and there was no discussion between yourself and these officials. You are saying, in other words, this one, Magistrate Cronier, she just was just standing up and down in that office of hers. You had no conversation with her other than her being told that you did not bath. In the absence, Bradini, and this is for all defense attorneys, in the absence of direct evidence, right, that can point to the fact that my client has been abused in any sense, right? If you cannot be able to adduce any evidence in support of what you are saying, then you are going to be faced with an issue of a battle of versions. Now, you're going to have to come with a version that is reasonably, probably true. And this is why Mgomezulu at the end was now forcing to say that you must say that this was reasonably possibly true. How do you expect me to say this is reasonably possibly true, that you sat in the office and she was just standing up and down and nothing else? You understand? So this is where the state, the defense actually failed their clients. They did not take the time to formulate a credible story, which is what it all boiled down to at the end of the day. It all boiled down to a credible story. They had a 17-hour loophole that they could have used to say, yes, our client did confess, but our client confessed based on the fact that they had been coached and told what to say. That 17 hours that you see them spending with our client, that is because they were teaching him what it is that they want him to go and say when they get inside that office. There you have a different story. We would be sitting, in fact, now with a different ruling altogether. But don't come and say, I did not confess, I just signed. What were you doing in there? So that is my submission, Bradeni. And what I'm saying is that I've said this before. I said, you know, if people were to believe that there are accused persons who are in jail who are innocent, most of the time it is not the state that sends them to prison. It is their own defense attorneys by failing to give a credible defense.
Yes.
It is your own attorney will send you to jail, not the state. So that is my submission, Bradeni. And going forward,
yes,
we will continue to educate people, and we will continue to make sense to people, because we must appeal to people's senses, and that is all they want. You can read pieces of legislature until you are blue in the face. If you don't have a good story, that's it.
Yes.
Thank you, Brady.
Thank you, Coco Mama, Cocolicious.
Kana what is to cruise, Bradeni? Barbaisa?
Bakuruza.
Yes. You see.
I can't remember. Vele ke re na tsenyane tsa o kurusa.
Yes. So yesterday, Pradeni, I said the judge asked to be addressed
Yes.
on one issue as far as was it Mboto? It's Rapadu.
It's in board.
It's Mboto, yes.
Yeah.
He asked to be addressed on one issue of Mboto to say they were torturing him, and as he entered, they stopped.
Yes.
And another version said they assaulted him in front. They assaulted Muzi in front of him,
Yes.
and he was told to sign right there.
Yes.
So the judge asked to be addressed on that. And I said yesterday, these guys, they didn't address the judge on that.
Yes.
He even said, it means he didn't sit down.
Yes.
I'll leave to the defense to address me on that when Baloyi was arguing. The guys, they didn't.
In the loophole for me.
They were given an opportunity to argue that particular point. What did they do? They said, no, you can wait for us. We are not going to address. Don't waste our time. And he mentioned exactly that because those are some of the key points where he wanted to be addressed. And he said that many times, but they never. The question is, why didn't they do that? Instead, they came to the judge to say, understand Ntanzi doesn't know how thing. He was very confident when he was talking about Orlando and all that, but he just saw signs. Please take that into consideration. Here there were points that they were supposed to address, which the judge requested they do. They did nothing. When he mentioned that today, all I could do, Bradin, was just to laugh, because if we can pick it up, why didn't they pick it up? That judge want to be addressed on that particular point. Thank you.
Thank you, Official Minister. Let's continue to double tap our screens, guys. That number is not gonna change up until we hit another 100K. I still see 1.1 on my side. Please let me know the moment you see 1.2.
Bradeni.
Oh, you see 1.2. Great stuff. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It is lagging on my side. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yimiya, who? Good evening.
You said 1.1. You just misdirected yourself. It's 1.2.
Yeah, Yimiya, who?
Evening, Brady.
Good evening,
everyone. And I'm glad that you put me at the back of Kukumama, because I agree with you 110%. And listening to you, I was thinking, the people that were abusing you the other day.
Yes, when I was assaulted and tubed. I was tubed.
They would do well to listen to you, because they could pick up certain things that they could pass on to the defense. It's just my thoughts. I think it would be wise for them to listen to different opinions and pick up on what other people are seeing and they're pointing. But
yes.
My submission today, Brady, is I eventually managed to go to court today. And I am here to encourage anybody that is in Joburg, Gauteng, Pretoria, and surroundings. Like, do yourself a favor and go to court at least one of the days. It is like an experience that is, like it was like nothing that I've experienced before.
Yes.
It's as if the characters come to life, like seeing the five accused there in person, seeing Ratha, the defense attorneys, Baloyi, and all of them. It was quite an experience, Brady. And I would urge anyone that is around Pretoria to take a day off, one of the days, and just go through and to get that experience. It gives it a more real, because it's easy for us to sit here, karo shebetse TV type of thing, because we see these characters playing out, we can say whatever, but when you're actually sitting in court, like everything comes to life. You appreciate our legal system. You get to experience it physically, which is it's eye-opening, and it was an incredible experience. So that is all I was here for, Brady.
Thank you.
We can't take another day off. I knocked off very early today. I was not okay in the morning.
And even say
Inhliziyo cishe yama.
Like when you are there, you can't jump and say like E2 shouldn't go.
Exactly.
You should stay at home.
It would not cope at all.
All right, okay, sharp, everyone.
Hey, Tada, thank you.
Sharp.
All right, guys, I'm only seeing 1.2 M on my side now. Thank you. Me too. Good evening.
Good evening, Brady, and the official minister and everyone.
Hey, Tada.
I just read here on the comments section, for those that were seeing 1.1, give the Androids, Brady.
That's possible. I won't confirm
I just saw it on the comments.
I won't confirm or deny that.
Pradeni, after the judge delivered his ruling, Advocate Baloyi and Advocate Sibanda shook hands. And to tell you the truth, Pradeni, when they say don't judge a book by its cover, you see that guy Sibanda is sitting there, Baloyi is bringing all these people, he leads their evidence, and suddenly he sits down, and it's Sibanda's turn. I was skeptical, Pradeni, to tell you the truth. And now when they say don't judge a book by its cover, it gave meaning to that after listening to him cross-examining Ntanzi and Sibiya. Especially Ntanzi. And even with Sibiya, because Sibiya had told everyone that he was assaulted in Foslo by TRT members. But when he was cross-examined, he said, no, the TRT were not there. That was a very serious concession, Pradeni. And with Ntanzi, we knew from Sibanda's cross-examination, we got to learn that on the days that he signed those two confessions with Rapadu and the magistrate, on those days, he didn't claim that he was assaulted. He didn't claim that he was... initially, when he was led by his defense, he said, no, I was assaulted, and that's what was put to witnesses and whatever. But when Sibanda, dissected his testimony, he considered to say, no, on this day, no, that one, ask Mngomezulu, I was not assaulted, And those were the days that were crucial, because that's when the confessions were signed, where he told the court himself that, no, on this day, Mngomezulu was mistaken. I was not assaulted. So I just wanted to say, Advocate Sibanda and Baloyi, what a team.
Yes.
What a team. And Sibanda still looks young. And I think Baloyi is grooming this upcoming prosecutor. We really, with a country besieged by crime, Pradeni, We need prosecutors that know what they are doing, you know. And the other thing that surprised me, Prateni, was when the judge asked Baloyi to read, I think it's at 7, when the judge section 217 or whatever has to do with confessions, what does it say at the beginning, you know, of proceedings? And then at the end, Muzi wanted Baloyi to read something that had got nothing to do with confessions, or what the judge was seized with, because I thought that was common knowledge.
Yes.
To say whoever made a confession,
yes.
it only applies to him,
yes,
not to anyone else.
And that has never been the state's intention, to try and use the confessions of accused number 1 and 2 against 3, 4, 5.
Else.
These are experienced prosecutors. They wouldn't do that. I think I'm 100% with you there. He was playing for the gallery.
But that was significant for Muzi. It also tells you that the guy has got experience. So what he was doing was, he wanted to give his client assurance to say, don't worry, whatever is going to be said about you or whatever, don't panic. It won't be used against you, you know? And yeah, that's my submission for today, Prateni. I say big up to Sibanda. Big up to Sibanda and Baloyi. Very good team. And once those confessions are read, I see people are saying, what's going to happen now to so and so? What's going to happen if they are implicated? If there's no evidence against them, the confessions are not going to help the state case against them, because they will only be used against the person who made those confessions and no one else. It can only help the state as far as it used those confessions to make further investigations and link those people directly, but not because of those confessions. Okay, thank you, Prateni.
Thank you, me too. Okay, Daya, I muted you, so I don't think you'll be able to unmute yourself, but if you can, just try to unmute yourself. Daya?
People requested Daya. I went to fetch him. Moody Boats, I'm fetching him. I'm trying to fetch politics. So,
fetch Tabang as well, wherever he is.
I'll fetch them one by one.
Yes.
Daya, they've been waiting for you. You said you'll come after trial, within a trial. It is over. Now is your time, my brother.
Good evening, Mr. Daya.
Good evening, Brady. Good evening, the panel members, officials, street preacher, and everybody that's there. Brady, I thought tonight will only be a night where we just call in and we laugh and then we say bye. But Brady, I think a lot was said. I only want to maybe point out one thing, and that's what I saw in the ruling. If you remember, the judge, they repeated it today again, that, in the main trial, evidence that comes out might swing it around, the ruling that he made.
Yes.
So, Brady, this judge is very, very clever.
Very.
Because if he, just imagine for 1 second, if he expanded his explanation, what do you think would have happened in the main trial? Everybody will concentrate on what he said to get a swing in his favor, and that will contaminate the whole information that needs to come out in the trial,
yes,
in the main trial.
Yes.
And that is why I think Ratha did not expand, because he wants the truth to come out in the main trial. And that is why he guarded against saying too much, because people will start focusing on what he said to get it swinged in their favor.
Yes.
And that's the only point that I wanted to make tonight, Brady, if you can allow me to say. Thank you for the opportunity, and have a blessed day.
Thank you.
We loved it.
Thank you, Mr. D.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I see April people are starting to see 1.3 million likes. Thank you. The Android people are still lagging behind with 1.2 M. But again, there's this pastor who used to say, what was those favorite line? Kungcono. One day we will be iOS. Bruno T, good evening.
Student, how did he know that you meant that? He's a very good student. Class A.
Good evening, Brady.
Good evening, Bruno T. How are you?
Good evening, official. No, I'm good, Brady. I'm smiling.
Yes.
Been smiling from morning. They are asking in the house, is it my birthday again? I said, no, I'm just smiling. I'm happy.
They might be suspecting that you got happy somewhere else.
No, you know this thing of the phone every night.
Yes.
It's a problem in the house. But because of the judgment, now they understand why am I here every night. Official, I trust you, my captain. I trust you. I'm relaxed. I'm having a sip with Itu. We are having a sip of wine, and
I've just ordered more
relaxed.
drinks.
Yeah, Brady. Hey, Advocate Nkomezulu. My 2 cents. I don't see him finishing the trial. I don't see him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see him. Maybe if he has to do it pro bono, then I will say something. But I don't see him finishing. It's just that I don't know. Kibo mamba wa khonang gore lokela mo man ke re dire what is the documentary about the Advocate Ngomezulu and the versions. For the first time, I've been going to courts, attending trials and all that. It was for the first time that I hear somebody misleading himself also. No. But I'm still smiling. Can't wait. I'm waiting to hear now what happened.
Yes.
What they say. Exactly what did they say? Yes. And the one question that I wanted to ask Mutusi Brady was concerning that audio recording. Is it possible that at one stage it might, or the judge might turn the decision not to use it? Is it possible in such cases whereby now there's this, and maybe there will be issues that will need clarity, whereby maybe the judge might reconsider? Thank you, Brady.
Thank you, Bruno T.
Enjoy your evening.
That's possible. Official minister will deal with that one for you as you go away.
Okay, thank you so much. Where is his Brenda? Is he still celebrating?
Yeah, she was operating here on the comment section. I think she is around, just that she's been hit by a terrible flu. But she is around.
Oh no.
Yes.
No, she must get well because now we are smiling. We need her also to
Yes.
to bring that smile with to the comment section. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Bruno T. Official Minister.
The question was about
can the judge still reconsider his decision not to allow the recording and order that it be played? That's your favorite.
Yeah, it's up to him. But I think where we are now, I'm more convinced that that the interlocutory decision, that temporary decision he made when we were earlier on, when we were in a trial within a trial, he was spot on because it would have contaminated the evidence from that day until the end of the trial. Now, the confessions have been admitted, and we understand, he said, in any case, this recording is supplementary. It is a derivative to the main confession. So if it's a derivative and the confession, the primary one has been admitted, why can't we hear the derivative one? Because it was clear that Baloyi says there are some of the things that are not coming out of the document that Kronje completed. But when he listened the recording, there were some of those things that are coming out, which means they are derivative, they are complementing the confession. So why can't we hear that confession? I am more confident than ever before that Muchindu judgment that he quoted is going to be relevant when he review that particular decision. And don't worry, my brother, when you hear other people later on saying, if he can do that, he will then reconsider admitting the confessions. It will never be like that, because there is nothing that these guys are going to present before court to make these confessions not to be admitted. They are going to be considered at the final judgment day to help resolve this case. Thank you.
Thank you, Official Minister. Finally, Android people can see 1.3 million likes. Thank you, guys. Coach, what happened to the 55%? Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
I think, as I said, the 55 versus 45.
Yes.
But when I was here at the show the last day, I said, I think Ratha was clear for he wants justice for this case. He wants everyone to put whatever that he has on top of the table. He doesn't want to hide anything. So he's saying, Baloyi, put everything that you have here. And he's saying also, he's challenging also the defense. If you honestly did not do anything, put everything that you have here on the table so that I can see the evidence. All what he wants is to see the evidence. I think he did the right thing, because we don't want any hidden information. We want everything here so that South Africa can judge. I think big up to Ratha. If you don't understand law, you'll be blind, because really this is about justice now. Yes. And we'll be waiting. And all what he wants everyone to put what he has, and it will open all of us here, and
We can even create judgment after hearing everything that is, even the tape. We want to hear that tape because we want to know what was happening in that room, you know. But I think justice has won today.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Coach. Okay, guys, I'm still getting people on the panel. Just bear with me for a few seconds. Right, Molatelo, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. As they say, all protocols observed.
Hey, Tada.
Mention each and every individual. But yeah, as expected today, like I said, there was no way Ntanzi himself would have convinced the judge otherwise. With so many versions. And the most important one was that one where Danny, I said, had Ntanzi stuck to the 18th, AVL comes, he stuck to the 19th, sorry. AVL comes, he sticks to the 19th. And then he said, maybe I don't remember, it happened when they were buying water and all on the way back to Moroga. On the 24th, he tried something. Maybe he would have survived. But unfortunately, you can, based on what I heard from that judge, no matter what Ntanzi tried, he was not going to survive. The judge studied that case, studied the evidence, from the police to Ntanzi. Police forgets, Ntanzi forgets. He doesn't care. He follows the law, and then even his ruling, he made sure that he closes all the loopholes to make sure that no one is gonna catch him on whatever he said. I think Daya mentioned a very good point that if had he expanded, you would find people like Mgomezulu, Munisi, you know, using that in the main trial. So he doesn't want to show them what he has picked up. But I'm telling you, it was a landmark, what we call a landmark ruling, in the sense that he ruled, he kept cards to himself. Prosecution have got their cards on themselves. The defense, I don't know. I'm not sure about the defense. The defense is found wanting once again. I don't think they have a plan. Even Munisi, we can say Munisi is experienced. He was trying to say this admitting these confessions doesn't implicate these guys, or doesn't apply, or it doesn't. This ruling doesn't apply to others. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to play to calm the guys down, because you know now the guys, maybe they were trying to forgive Ntanzi and Sibiya for whatever they did, you know, coming out and all. But he's trying to say, guys, chill. You know, this thing happened, but it doesn't mean anything to you guys, because we don't know what's going to happen next. Ntanzi obviously is fearing for his life or his family's life based on this ruling, but it will continue. Like I said, Gininda found something from the two. He continued to investigate. Now it's for Baloyi. Gininda has done his job. The judge has given Baloyi the case to say, okay, yeah, I am admitting whatever work that Gininda has done. What do you do now? So now Baloyi has to combine all the blocks. Now the puzzle has to combine to the end. Until Baloyi combine all the cards, all the puzzle, the judge can't come to a conclusion based on this evidence. Until the puzzle combined from whatever Ntanzi told Gininda and all, Gininda is not going to take the matter to court with Baloyi. So the matter went to court after it was emptied out based on confessions. Now the judge has accepted confessions. We move to the next step now. Let's hear what he said on the confession. How do you link it? Okay, she wanted to get rid of him a year before. You know, it's been a long time planning. I think we had a little bit of that from Gininda's affidavit. So now is the time to say, on this day, 2013, they met and said, they discussed 1, 2, 3 at this location, or there was a call that was made in 2013, in 2014 early. So those are the things that will come out. And in the end, the judge is going to look at reasonability. Is this reasonable? Is it probable? Is it possible? Then he's going to say, okay, guys, when we were in trial within a trial. I considered 1, 2, 3. I got to this ruling. It will expand. And then in this main trial, I picked up 1, 2, 3. Yes, the defense failed to rebut 1, 2, 3. And I find that accused 1, 2 were involved in this way. 3, 4, 5 were involved in this way. And it will come to the... So these things, they will continue adding up until we see. Even people who were against the defense. I highly respect Coach Morgan. Coach Morgan, you can hear. Coach Morgan was not necessarily against the police, but he did say that there were some things that he was not clear with. But you can hear it's someone who respects the law. Let law and order apply, guys. When the ruling is made, we follow the law. So whatever was decided today, it was based on the law, not based on the feelings or what. I saw someone, Gedeni, in your post during the day saying, maybe the judge is just playing the state. He wants to expose the police. No, guys, the judge doesn't have time to play those games.
No.
We are playing the law here. Yes. The judge follows the law. He respects the law. You respect whether any career you take, whether it's football, whether you are an engineer or what, you respect your field. The judge respects the law. He wants to leave this industry or this fraternity, law fraternity, intact. So he doesn't want to leave law in disrepute. So he's going to make sure that whatever he decides is based on the law. If it goes to Supreme Court one day, it's challenged, they will challenge it based on the law. You know, when you go to Supreme Court, for example, they no longer look at the AVL and what, they look at the law. Was the law applied? That's why they say we don't want the merits and whatever who was driving what. We are going to look at the law. Did he apply the law? And that's why he allowed Waloyi to read before. If you don't get it from there, you'll never get it. He wanted Waloyi to read everything. And Muzi also asked Waloyi to finish it. He said, you didn't read it in full. I want you to read that part that he wanted. But remember, Waloyi was playing the tactic of the defense. The defense always come with bits and pieces. Even if they read a certain section, they will read it in bits and pieces and leave out another part. And someone will say, no, it was not, you didn't read it in full. They will come with a judgment and read line 16. The judge would say, please read the full judgment. So those are the things that we need to look out for. It's not done, but it's quite landmark. And if people were doubting, especially this live, people who come to this live, because obviously majority of us who are coming to this live, we believe the state case. But I know that there are people who come here against this live, or they are against the state case. Let's say they are against the state case. I think at this time now, guys, wake up, just think slowly, trace it back and ask yourself, how did they come to this ruling today? Is it conspiracy? Did the judge follow the law? So those are the things that you need to think about. There's no time to play, guys. At the end of the day, we want justice. You said you wanted a certain mastermind. A certain mastermind is mentioned in those confessions. Yes. Now she's there. You still complain that these are not the right people. Who are the right people? Okay, let me end here, Bradeni. I just thought I should also say something today.
Thank you, Mulatelo. All right, guys, the Apple Brigade have started seeing 1.4 million likes. Thank you for that. Android Ningakali, we will get there very soon. We will join the crew. Ningakali. Let's bring back Mutusi. Mutusi?
Yes, Braden, I think it is also important for us to tell people who are not happy with what happened today, yes, that it is important for everyone to know that the law is not applied in favor or to prejudice any person. Yes. The state prosecutors and the presiding officers have a duty, and the duty is to ensure that justice is achieved. Sometimes justice may lead to a person not being found guilty, but where facts and evidence lead to a person being convicted, then one should accept the outcome as it is.
Yes.
I was very disappointed today when I told you that I roamed the streets during the day.
Yes.
Mostly because I would be bored and so on. And in one of the streets that I was in, there was a person who has identified herself as a legal representative in this life more than once, who actually bashed on a judge because of this outcome. I was extremely disgusted at that. It made me realize that these are the people who would throw the entire stapler at a presiding officer at court if the judgment does not go along the way they wanted. And honestly speaking, I agree with what Gogo said earlier, that this case is where it is today because we've got legal representatives there who are dancing to the cameras, who do not want to read, who do not want to research, who do not want to use the law to challenge whatever is it that has been put before them, but who you know, the other issue, Bradeni, today I've got a friend who's working as a senior state advocate in South Gauteng High Court for the prosecution. I said to her, you know, I am so happy for Baloyi, and I wish one day it happens to you, that we see you on TV dealing with the case. And she said, I don't want to be insulted by people who do their LLB on TikTok. People who claim to have been to school, but who claim to have been through what we have been through, but probably have never entered a court just to do a postponement on a criminal case. That is how lawyers are bringing our noble profession into disrepute.
Yes.
We know law and lawyers to be critically thinking people who accept when things did not go right, people who go back, take instructions, reconstruct, reorganize, and go back to court on an appeal and drop legal bombs, not insults. There's this guy on TikTok called, let me say this old man, because he really is old, in TikTok, called Sisho
Mapisa.
Mapisa, yes, Sisho Mapisa. If you listen to him, you would think the entire country is burning because he's disappointed at the standard of the lawyers that we are having these days. We are in trouble. And if this is what we are being given at this stage, what is going to happen moving forward? Are we going to degenerate to a point where things are going to be resolved in the streets and no longer following the rule of law? Are we going to degenerate to a point where emotions play a role in the decisions of cases and it is no longer about the law? Bradeni, we cannot allow judges to be insulted in the manner that these insults are going on at this stage, because it is wrong. There was a guy, there's a decided matter of State versus Mama Bolo, or is it Mama Bolo versus the magistrate of, I just can't remember the citation properly, where the journalist was not happy with the decision of the court, and then he went and wrote, he was a newspaper editor, he went and wrote things about the judge. He was brought back to court and he was convicted for contempt of court. But the matter was taken on appeal, but because the judge was also now angry and emotional at what they did, the higher decision that was taken was that no, but you did not, it is true that what this person did is wrong. It is true that they deserve a punishment, but for you to be able to punish them, follow the due processes. You see, even if, you know, this guy who's making a lot of political noise Mr. 10 years. He's doing the rounds in politics lately. One day he stood up in public and canned for votes by insulting a magistrate. These are the people that we are having lately. We cannot afford for that to happen.
No.
It is wrong in many ways. If presiding officers are going to be insulted like this, then you're going to make our law very unsavory for some people. You're going to make people believe that they can start taking the law in their own hands. Why? Because the judges and magistrates cannot be trusted.
Yes.
People go to court, and if things do not happen the way they want, they come out of court with microphones, with newspaper articles insulting presiding officers. Lately, there was an article where it was written that a politician, a minister of Home Affairs, I'll mention this one because it is well known. A minister of Home Affairs said that the problems that they are having with foreigners is that magistrates are giving lesser sentences for employers who are employing illegal immigrants. They don't even know that in district courts we don't get those cases anymore. Prosecutors are not bringing those cases to court. Magistrates have got nothing to decide on. The Home Affairs officials themselves, that's how they report, because they are hiding their incompetence behind presiding officers. Nobody is doing what is expected of us. You know, we are going to a point where today we are singing praises about police officers for just doing their work, because we are living in a country where people who do their work are being ridiculed, and those who are brave enough for those who are brave enough to do their work, we get to see them as heroes. I mean, guys, yes, this case was complicated. Yes, it took long, but Kininda and the team were just doing their work. Yes. If we praise them too much, we may end up making them very arrogant to a point where they're gonna start saying, you know, people love us, we can do what we want. So let us allow people to do their work without insulting them. In that way, then the standard and the bar will be raised, and we will have proper people on the ground to do what is expected. That's what I wanted to say, Braden.
And on that score, Muthusi, of the legal profession, you know, we need to do our best where we can, as much as it can be difficult sometimes. But some of us, we need to try and do our best and make our people understand our legal scheme, our constitutional jurisprudence, the principle of superior courts. That's very important. If you are not satisfied with the judgment of a magistrate, you can take it on appeal. You can take it to the superior courts. There are high courts. If you are not satisfied with the judgment of a single judge sitting in a high court, that's what you call leave to appeal. You request leave to appeal. If it's denied, it's not the end of the road. You can petition the Supreme Court of Appeal. If you succeed in your leave to appeal, you can be sent to what we call a full bench. If you're not satisfied with the judgment of a full bench, there's a Supreme Court of Appeal, which you can even march to, which you can even petition after the judgment of a single judge who would have refused your leave to appeal. If still you are not satisfied with the Supreme Court of Appeal, there's the final court in the land, the Constitutional Court. And once the Constitutional Court has pronounced on your matter, is the end of the road. That's our constitutional jurisprudence. Now, Muthusi, it gets worse these days when the Constitutional Court pronounces on issues, and you don't only have those legal practitioners that you referred to earlier, you've got senior counsels who take microphones and try and campaign to the society that our law is dead. That is sad. That is bad. Because the same senior counsels, when they win cases, when they become successful, they get to be appointed in state entities to chair very high-profile investigations. They benefit out of their success in the courts. But when they lose,
these people,
yes. Yes,
these people don't want to accept when things do not go their way.
Yes.
People don't want to, if you've got a platform, take a microphone, take a platform and say, guys, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that the judge spoke about that I was not aware of. And based on that, I'm going to study this judgment properly.
Yes.
And then I will advise my client, and then we will come back to you with a way forward. Usually, when you go to court and you fight openly with your client, then there's nothing wrong with that. Look at what Vodacom is doing, guys, with this Makate matter.
Yes.
They are losing left, right, and center. But what do? They don't go to the media and say, judges are racist, judges are bored, they appeal. They follow the law. And when they realize that we don't have anywhere to go now they are calling the guy to say, okay, sharp, let's settle.
Yes.
And that is how the law should be.
Yes.
That is at a point where you realize you've got nothing else. Another thing that we have as a serious pandemic, we've got lawyers who come to TikTok. They open TikTok accounts. They show their faces on TikTok.
Yes.
They start quoting the law completely wrong.
Yes.
And we're talking about practicing attorneys.
Yes.
People who are in court on a daily basis, who want the law to suit the narrative.
Yes.
You've been fired in a case because of your incompetence, and you go and say, no, but I have an opinion, and this is the opinion. The good example of that would be Malesela Dave, where he was on SABC and everywhere else, and he quoted the law completely wrong.
Yes.
He spoke about eyewitnesses that have not come,
yes.
that may not even come. I'm not going to mention, I was not talking about Advocate Defo, but I will not mention this person because I believe that they are everywhere in TikTok. Legal service, guys, the legal services, there was a time in our life when lawyers were not allowed to have advertisements. When lawyers were not allowed to advertise. And the reason for that was so that the decorum of the profession remains intact.
Yes.
Lawyers were not allowed to. I know people who go to magistrates' court and sit and wait for new cases to come. They go and literally tout at the cells. I can do your bail application, give me 2,000 rand. And they put the money in their pockets. That's embarrassing. There's no lawyer who is expected to do that. If you are good with what you do, people will go to your office.
Yes.
The family of those people will call you. Look at what happened to Dominic Mjiako.
Yes.
He was called by Usisi.
Yes.
And he was nowhere. Usisi just called Dominic because Dominic is good. They called him. He came in. He gave his client a perfect advice. Take a 105A in this matter.
Yes.
People find out that this guy is about to take a 105A, and then he regrets even talking to Mjiako. Now he starts denying him and so on and so forth. But hey, being that as it may, guys, what I've said is exactly that. Let us respect ourselves as lawyers so that our profession can be respected. Because if you don't respect yourself as lawyers, if you don't respect ourselves as lawyers, then writing those 4 examinations was a waste of your career. Spending 5 years at university was a waste of your time. And we cannot regard you as one of us if you are behaving in such an embarrassing way.
Thank you, Muzi.
Pradeni.
Yes, official minister.
You see, Muzi has said a lot. And one thing that I want to highlight is in this life, there are people who are well experienced in their own right. Even if you have different views, you can still learn a lot from them. I'll give you an example, Bradin. My views and that of Thabang in many cases, not only in this case, in other things, they are different. Even the team that he support, I'm not even close to that team. Mine is the Euro Nation. He's a Pagania. So there are many things that are different, but there is always an element of respect. When I came to this life, I knew nothing about ballistics.
Yes.
But through engaging my friend, who's my friend now, I learned that, I'm just giving an example. I learned that when you look at the projectile, it's got two things. You'll find the class characteristics and individual characteristics. Class characteristics are shared among the firearms of same make or model, for an example. But the individual characteristics, those are the fingerprints. They are specific to the firearm barrel. I didn't know this. This is the knowledge that he departed with. And I would have paid a lot of money to go and acquire it over a course somewhere. And that is why, and there are two markings that you could, what is the cartridge? There is a mark that is left at that cartridge when you shoot. That's why you can make, Rulufse manage to go and fetch 9 cartridges from Alexander, and then be able to compare with the cartridge that he shot. He didn't use the projectiles to do that comparison. Because, and then Mangena, because there were no cartridges, he used the projectile. My brother, I don't know, they call it a striation or something like that, but I know it's called by the grooves, as in when that thing turns. So, you see, I can engage in ballistic. I'm not an expert, Pradeni, but I can sit in the meeting and contribute at the back there, raise a hand and ask a question.
And tell them that we need 6 striations to match a gun to the projectile.
That is why I could tell that the legal, the lawyers of accused number 1 to 5, they were clueless.
Yes.
They didn't even understand these basics, because Muzi said he doesn't argue that there is no argument that this gun that Mangena tested and matched the projectile is the same gun that Rulufse tested.
Yes.
He says there is no question about that.
Yes.
But then lack of knowledge is very dangerous. Mshololo comes and says, can you change the barrel? And Rulufse says yes, and Mshololo wants to argue that the barrel has been changed. How can you change the barrel when the signatures of the projectiles are the same? For the fact that the signatures of those two those projectiles of those bullets that were fired from that particular firearms are the same, have same markings. They tell you that this is the same gun. No same gun can have same marking. No different firearms can have same marking. And then you start to ask yourself, are you really hearing yourself what you are asking? Because what you are saying is they changed the barrel, but they still fire the gun, and then it still matches, the projectile still matches. So from that perspective, I could really tell that these people are wasting our time. They should have consulted with me, Pradeni. I would have told them that, guys, this question is not going to make it because of this and this and this. Just because of an information we acquired here. So Muthusi is right. Just because we've got a different view with people, it doesn't necessarily mean you must insult them. Because when you start insulting them, you're going to lose an opportunity to learn and upgrade yourself. Differ, argue, elevate your argument, and leave it at that, and have respect. I just wanted to add on that. But Muthusi, there is a question here that says, will Muzi and Ntanzi be back on the stands? Can you address it, my brother?
Okay. I don't know if I should address it now or allow Coco to speak, because I understand she came before that question. And she came.
I think we can address it now, but before you do that, I think the Android people finally can see 1.4 million likes, so we're going to request the Apple people to help us quickly rush to 1.5 million likes as we edge closer to the end of our live this evening. We can quickly deal with that question, Muthusi.
You see, at this stage, guys, the trial is going to continue like a normal trial. We're done with the trial within the trial. We're still at the state's case. The state is still going to lead their witnesses. Once they are done with leading all the witnesses that they want to lead and they're satisfied with their case, they may not lead all the witnesses that are on the list, but if they are satisfied that they have led enough witnesses to prove their case, then they will close their case. And when they close their case, then the following options are available to accused number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all of them. Number 1, they may make an application in terms of section 174 at the closure of the state's case to say that the evidence that has been led against them is not enough for a reasonable court acting carefully to can convict. I don't see that application coming, except I haven't heard anything linking accused number 4 so far. So maybe he may bring an application in terms of section 174. That's me, that I have not heard that. The other option that they have is to close their case without calling any witness, without testifying, without saying anything. And once they close their case, then the state's case is the only evidence that we have. Arguments will follow, and after that, a judgment can be given. The next option, remember I said all these options are available for all accused persons. The next option would be that accused number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 may choose to testify, all of them. I want to say something. And then they tell you, no, on the day that this incident took place, I was actually at Ograbis Park, somewhere close to Kakamas. I was not in Vosloorus. I don't know anything. You can ask Van der Merwe. I was with him on that day. We even had braai and so on and so whatever. They say I was nowhere close to Vosloorus, and whatever is it that has been said here is actually implicating me wrongly. Then cross-examination will follow. All of them will have an opportunity to testify. Number 1 and 2 will have an opportunity to testify again. What accused number 1 and 2 did now was to testify only on the trial within a trial, not about the case. They did not touch the allegations against them. They did not say, why do they say they are not guilty? What they spoke about is the confessions and the pointing out were not properly heard, and the presiding officer decided against them. So, yeah. And then at the closure of their case, section 1, at the closure of the defense case, then section 175 of the Criminal Procedure Act will apply, which then says all parties must address the court on why they believe accused number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are guilty, or who between them is not guilty. All parties, all 6 practitioners, it will be 5 defense attorneys plus 1 prosecutor, will be given an opportunity to address the court, and then the court will go and give a judgment. A proper judgment written with authority and all that. I heard somebody crying this morning saying the judge did not even refer to the law in the ruling that he made. There's no requirement that the judge should refer to the law, but the judge did refer to the law. Yes. I hope that answers the question, official.
Yes, thank you. I think they are answered.
Thank you, Mutusi. Koko Mama, you can unmute your microphone.
Brady,
Yabo.
I've already said Maragas Sutuar Maduma Fail, so good evening, everyone, again.
Yes.
Brady, I wanted to address again the issue that was touched on by Mutusi regarding the strategy, or rather the lack thereof, of the defense in this case. You know, one of the biggest blunders that was actually done in this instance was done by Ramasepele in introducing one attorney in the middle of proceedings.
Yes.
And at that point, the trial had already been quite advanced. That new attorney that came in, already during this trial within a trial, he came across as a person who does not quite prepare himself for proceedings. So the question becomes, with a case as complicated as, and having as many statements and many role players that this one has had up to so far, did Ngomezulu have the opportunity to peruse all the evidence that was in front of the court at that point? Did he have a basis, enough of a basis to go on regarding the issue that was being contended here in the trial within the trial? Did he have enough time to properly and adequately consult with accused number 1 and 2? Because these trials within the trials was mostly affecting accused number 1 and 2. And so when he introduced Ngomezulu into the fray, he introduced a new person at a point where he was now having to scramble at that point, because he came in today and tomorrow they were going to start. This is how I remember it. I will be corrected if I'm wrong.
You are right.
So you are going into a trial within a trial, and if you analyze this case properly, you would have picked up that these confessions are actually going to play a pivotal role in convicting these guys, especially the ones that I'm actually representing, which is accused 1 and 2. He took on the case, he came in, and what we saw in court, instead of Ngomezulu being led by Ramasepele and acting as an assistant or having rather a supporting role to Ramasepele, he took a lead. We saw him taking a lead, starring in these trials within a trial. Was he afforded enough of an opportunity to prepare himself? If he was afforded, was he willing to prepare himself properly? Is he a person who generally does prepare himself properly for proceedings? That is not what came across, at least not to me. We saw own goals upon own goals by Ngomezulu. And people can try to argue that away, but there were own goals upon own goals. And we can chalk that up simply to a lack of preparedness.
Yes.
When you bring in a person like Makubo, did you understand what Makubo was about, or how he was going to feature in this whole situation? Did you understand that the other, your colleagues had actually come together to agree based on the evidence that was before them, that they had had time to peruse? Based on this, they could understand that his evidence related mainly to the merits of the case, and not necessarily, and not in fact, not necessarily, not in any way, shape, or form related to the confessions that are being contested in the trial within a trial. So they gave the leading role to the wrong attorney, and he led them into a hole that they are not going to be able to dig themselves out of at this point. It is too late.
Yes.
In its nature, this ruling is not appealable. We just want to clear that up. Maybe someone did not understand. You can't appeal a ruling, an interlocutory ruling, because it's interlocutory. We have not made a full decision on this.
Yes.
So you cannot appeal on something that is not a full decision as of yet.
Yes.
You can appeal the whole judgment at the end, when in fact you are now saying the evidence that was used to prosecute, including these confessions that were used against 1 and 2, we feel that they were inadmissible because of 1, 2, and 3. At the end, when you have the full judgment with the evidence that is at the current moment interlocutory,
Yes.
not right now. So we just wanted to clear those things up
Yes.
for people. Yes.
Thank you, Coco Mama,
Thank you.
Cocolicious.
Thank you.
Prateni, you know, Spedi language is monate like Tswana, Zulu, Swati, all other languages.
Yes.
So, Kaspedi, bare, onana hana horutlisha kadijela. You know, when they call you kadijela, Prateni.
I think I started with Khadija.
Oh, Kadija.
Yes.
Yes. In Kaspedi, bare ke kadijela. In Zulu, I don't know what they call kadijela.
Umankayena.
Yeah, umankayena. Kore, I don't know. Is it a king Pratini? Those well experienced person.
Yes.
Yeah, meaning you have seen them all. There is nothing.
The creme de la creme.
Matholani board.
Yes. So is those people, you are right, Steve, to say, you know, when you've called a traditional healer like Babuzwane, when they throw their bones down, arjaga ngadingala.
Yes.
Meaning, if they mislead him these ones, he will just leave them behind and go to his home. Chaka ngadingala. So that's why we call them Bongadingala. Koreki ukadijela. So, but unfortunately, no. This was the
Sinike Nkosi or correctile de. In Zulu is chwepheshe.
Oh.
Thanks, Mutusi. That is exactly that. So, but they thought they are bringing Utkopesh. But no, Utkopesh. Then they didn't. It was something. This was not Kadijela. You were spot on, Coco. Oh, Coco Mama.
Thank you, official minister.
Thank you.
100%. Nkadingala Ngomezulu has buried accused number 1 and number 2 in this trial within a trial. I'm still of a firm belief that Bongani Ntanzi did not tell Ngomezulu about Heidelberg off-ramp, turning right, there's a garage, engine garage, there's a steel manufacturing plant. I don't think Bongani Ntanzi told Ngomezulu all those. It is Nkadingala Ngomezulu who came with all those.
Formulated.
Yes. Who said, no, don't worry. This is my strategy. If it doesn't work, Nkadingala. I've seen it
Now
all.
I'm a master chef.
Yes. I've been in and out of courts.
I know all these trades. I was driving trucks. I will tell you.
So there's also a thing, Bradeni, of overstating your case.
Yes.
And that is what Ngomezulu did. He overstated the version.
Yes.
And too much detail.
He overstated it way too early into the game.
And then asked for the AVL.
Yes. But again, we can say he overstated it way too early, but I don't think he had a choice. I don't know. I think Baloyi played him to a game of strategy on this one. He forced them to give a version.
Yes.
He forced them to give a version. They could not let Colonel Mboto leave without their version. But
that is correct.
Yes. All right, thank you. I think Apple people have already seen 1.5 million likes, I think 10 minutes ago. Android, Ningakali, you will catch up with them. Tox Masinga, good evening, my brother.
Good evening, Prateni, official minister Muzi, street picture. Hey, so late, guys. It's almost balegil. Prateni, I went to the stadium on Saturday when the derby was obviously playing.
Yes.
When the players are coming out of the tunnel, usually it's the goalkeepers that come out first and run to the pitch. I missed Senzo Meiwa. I even told one of my friends that Senzo could have. Unfortunately, we were robbed. We were robbed of an icon and a guy that was on his prime. I remember I was saying, since we Senzo INZ cut, we have him, but he was on his prime, and we were robbed. Coming back to the case, Pratini. I still remember Sergeant Mukhane saying, Ntate Ngomezulu, goba ubulele Ntanzi a go botse nnete.
Yes.
Goba ubulele Ntanzi a go bolele nnete, and Ngomezulu carried on. Yeah, and the tortured carry on, and the tortured, and he even said, Yegelandi man. And I was laughing. But then we come a long way with this case in particular, and we've had versions and multiple versions of this of what transpired. But the fact that we are at this stage now, we are very impressed, especially to the cruisers led by my captain, official minister. I mean, Braden, we've been saying this and then we've seen it. The defense is very reckless. Very, very reckless. I remember I made an example. Remember that example? This is the case of what's happening in this case. You can clearly see that even if it fits there, 3 million, 3 million there. If I speak about something in passing, it will fit on this case. The defense was very, very reckless. I remember people before De Novo,
people were praising Mshololo. Hey, Mshololo. Hey, Mbokoto. I mean, to me, I'm sorry to the lady. She's an embarrassment. She's an embarrassment, and she knows that. Remember when she said, "Yeah, let's listen to the recording now. Let's listen to the recording now." I'm like, how does a senior council do this
Junior.
in front? I mean, if you are playing to
Junior,
pardon?
not senior.
Okay. Okay. Junior council. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but how do you do that at that level? Because now, remember, the world is watching. You are representing us. You are representing the law. You are representing South Africa, and you are representing yourself and your law firm that you are working for, or that you have. But I mean, this kind of mediocrity that we've seen in court with them doing what and pulling those stunts. I mean, it's an embarrassment. I think these groups that are just giving these people money and whatever they are playing to the public gallery, because you can clearly see that they are playing to the public gallery. I remember when Makubo just now was in court. Hey, people were saying, "Hamba na Abudlagal." I'm like, are we listening to the same case, guys? What has this got to do with a trial within a trial? I think Mngomezulu, even his peers and his colleagues, they said they can bring Makubo at a later stage. He said, "No, I need to bring Makubo now." But it was clearly a waste of time. We all saw that. And Mngomezulu embarrassed himself. And at the expense of who? At the expense of these poor accused. Because even them, the accused, they denied. I cannot speak on behalf of Mr. Mngomezulu. What Mngomezulu said, I'm distancing myself from that. That's what they said to Muzi and Ntanzi. It is very when you watch this case and you see you also watched obviously this podcast of the sisters and everybody telling us what happened. I remember I even mentioned it when the sister told us that Ntanzi called and says, Jelu mama ngiboshiwe lapho ngiboshiwe, and then it comes back to court. Ntanzi did not even have a phone call, but the sister told us that. I am not saying it will stand in court, but it's giving us as the public a clear directive of what's happening. I think these people who are busy saying, yeah, we come from Bradeni School. I think it's a school of excellence. Before I came in this live, I had a different view. I came in here, I listened, and I got a clear picture of what's happening, aligned to what's happening in the court, not gossips, TikTok. Yeah, what? We got aligned, and official minister, somebody wants to talk to you. Just wants to say something. Come, Matiba, come closer to the mic. We are cruising nicely. We are cruising very, very nicely. Official minister, we thank you, my brother. We thank you. I would like to keep it short like a miniskirt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tox, and thank you for bringing us.
Mufage nayo Madiba, mufage nayo.
And you are right, Talks. On a serious note, the defense were reckless. When the streets of TikTok said to them, go and ask for the OB entries, they said, ifage. Nama OB entries, aswa fag. When the streets were saying to them, they must go look for a mandate, they said, ifage. I say fag in a mandate. One day, the streets of TikTok were on live until 3 a.m. Official minister. There was something that Mngomezulu had decided that they are not going to challenge. Please remind me of that. there was a live that said up until 3 a.m. And we understand Ngomezulu was on that live, listening to the streets saying Faganale. And the next day, Ramosepele told us that Ngomezulu called him around 3 a.m. saying, Asefage something, and we are now going to challenge that which we said we are not going to challenge. Can you remind us, Official Minister? I'm not sure if you remember. What was that they had decided that they are not going to challenge? But after being on the streets up until 3 a.m., Ngomezulu called Ramosepele and said, no, we are going to challenge.
Yeah, remember that part, Pradeni. I don't remember exactly what is it that they were going to challenge, whether it was something that was submitted or it was the presentation of the AVL report. I think it was the presentation of the AVL report. I think people are right, because remember, the argument was it cannot be presented by Mrane, and Mrane can lead that evidence of the AVL report, and they challenged that to say Mrane is not an expert. This must be led by an expert. But the judge said Mrane was in this car. He can tell us what was happening at these particular points in time. If you were to call an expert, he wouldn't tell you why they were in a certain point in time for so many minutes. It is Mrane. So the expert will come at the later stage. I think it was around that particular point.
Yeah, I think it was the AVL. And I think somebody on the streets told them that he is an AVL expert and he can analyze it for them. That's it. That's it. So, Talks, you were 100% spot on. These guys were just reckless. Tense, good evening. Please unmute your microphone.
Good evening, folks. Good evening, Pradeni. Good evening to the panelists. Mine is more of on the academic side, just curiosity, just since it's current affairs, and yeah. Like when Baloyi was reading the sections today, that relate to this topic of the trial within the trial. And I don't think it's the first time actually him reading that section. But like there was a portion whereby he read in law that like a mere production of this what is termed a confession that has a name of this person, then is automatically admitted. So when I heard that, obviously I understand people have to defend themselves. But like for me, it seems as if the day Ntanzi finished writing that thing with the magistrate, it was good enough to be admitted in court.
Yes.
And then you question yourself that, okay, if the defense lawyers are here and they know this is good enough to be admitted as evidence in court, what was the whole point of trying to deny it and not allow it to come through? But it's fine. Over the months, they've proven themselves of. I know their case is difficult, guys. On my side, I don't fully blame them because in my view, I believe their case is very difficult. But at the same time, you question yourself. If you remember the bank statement topic, where it was the state wanted to admit it, to hand it up. And then the defense even then said, no, we can't hand it up. And then there were sections that were read. Basically, in essence, if I'm not a lawyer, but like if I remember correctly, then they were saying like, if a type of evidence coming from an institution like a bank, I think like they explained it, but like automatically it should be admitted, you know. But like even then they were disputing it, you know. Then you ask yourself, which like these guys have been in law for some time now. Like I'm in IT, you know. In my space, when I'm talking, like I will make sense. So even looking at their ages, they've been in law for quite some time now, and they're operating at a high court. So you would expect a better preparedness from professionals at that level, you know. But like we are here, we are where we are. But at the same time, I do admit, then, like in my view, the guys that are in front of us now, they've done what they've done. Hence, I'm saying the defense has a difficult case. But just to talk, I think before this court went on break in December, they did mention this is a special court. So, like I remember earlier on, we spoke about timelines and taking breaks and everything. I don't think the defense will push through the breaks. My understanding of a special court, the way they were speaking about it in December, is they can do as they please, quote unquote, in relation to timelines, as long as they agree. So, meaning they don't have to take a break sometime in end of this month or beginning of April. You know, they don't have to take a break. They can continue as long as they speak to the court officials and make sure they're available. But like I doubt that the defense will do that. Because sometimes they go for a very long break and then they still come back and ask for an adjournment, you know. So I don't think they will assist us on that. Yeah, but like it's also like I'm interested in hearing the actual confessions now. I'm happy that they are accepted, but at the same time, I'm just hoping, because Judge Ratha once said, we still need to see what is written there, if it's really a confession or not, you know. But like, because Keninda did tell us the investigation was prosecution driven, I'm definitely sure whatever is written there, it is a confession to the satisfaction of the state, you know. So, but like, if then the confession, this investigation was not led by the prosecution, I mean, like, we could have a mistake whereby people are contradicting themselves in their very statement, you know, and then they could get away with it. But like now, just sitting as an ordinary person, I'm not expecting that to happen. But like, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. But like, I'm not expecting it to happen because it was prosecution driven. But like, otherwise, it was a good day. It was a good day. We are progressing, and thanks to the state, and thanks to everyone else that was involved. But like, it was nice. Just my 2 cents. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tans. Mudibowa, you are going to be our last speaker for the evening. Good evening.
Hey, Bradeni.
Hey, Tada.
Good evening. I'm a little late.
Yes, we almost closed you out.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
We are busy this side with all these things, elections coming at the end of the year, so people are not sleeping. But I think standing at 1.5 million likes right now, Bradeni, let me say good evening to everybody, and the captain officials and others. And I believe today there was so much that people said. It's unfortunate that these things are not on UBET or Betway. We would have won, Bradeni.
Yes.
Would have made a lot of money.
Yes.
But I don't want to repeat what people have said. I think we are going back to the main dish tomorrow. And what I like about Baloyi is he's ready. He's blazing. He's already lined up what is going to happen tomorrow. And he knows the witnesses that he will bring right away. I just hope the defense would not delay with issues of consultation because the trial is going on. You don't pack the other and think that because the focus is on the trial within a trial, now you're going to request some 4 days there to consult and start bringing all those issues in terms of representation again in the main trial. I think they've been resolved. I hope we don't get delayed by them. But Bradeni, if I was Baloyi, one of the witnesses I will bring right away would be that magistrate again. I don't know whether she's in the main trial. Just to refresh our mind and go back even to that room too. And now maybe we want to hear those confessions now in details. Now let me remind people about what Sibanda said during cross-examination. He quoted an authority, Bradeni, which Ratha denied, made an order and ruled against him. And in ruling against him, you remember we said that he got it wrong, or Ratha got it wrong, with how Sibanda quoted it. But Ratha said that would be after it has been admitted, or after a ruling has been made, that they are admissible.
Yes.
Now, therefore, what is standing, what is coming, which we expect, is now, because we go into the main trial, this guy still standing on their leg, denying these confessions. Now they will be thoroughly and heavily, robustically so cross-examined on them. It's no longer about the issue of assault now. That one is buried. No longer about the tubing. That one is out of the place. Those redacted things, now we want them to be taken through them in cross-examination. I think that is what will apply. Secondly, Bradeni, I want to take the attention of most people to section 219, which was read. And even Muzi requested a further reading on it with regard to the admissions and confessions. We know that in these confessions, Gininda has showed there were names that were mentioned in the confessions. And remember, we are also in this cruise ship, but at the same time, we are interested in this lifeboat that is hanging on the side, which is that of the mastermind.
Yes.
And we know that with the confessions, such a boat gets a little mention, and we want to see how it will play in the trial.
Yes.
However, so the police having done what they did and knowing what they want to poke, and the prosecutor knowing what they want to do with these 5 accused for now, in light of the mastermind still out there. On TikTok street, I know people, some other people will be excited somewhere. Those who have been on the side of these guys, having now, having a ruling which is against them, now they are celebrating the ruling again. Why? Because their only interest is that in the ruling, Kelly Kumalo is mentioned in them. That's what they celebrate, even if they have lost, having argued that the Ratha will dismiss their admissibility. But now they are celebrating that. But Section 219, which Muzi also requested, it says in it, a name that is mentioned in some statement or a name that is implicated cannot be used against somebody who is mentioned during the confession. And I know that, though I don't understand that well, you and Captain might be able to clarify it to us, explain it to us, help us understand it in light of these names being mentioned. But Bradeni, remember, when we jump over to the main trial, it's a straight loss for the defense. We know they do not even have a case that side. That one is game over for them. I think the trial within a trial was just a way which these guys thought if they could try and kill the case here, they might have something. But that side, Bradeni, I know. And if there are still South Africans believing that these guys are the wrong ones in court, I really don't know, Bradeni, which planet we live in. I really don't know how we are reading evidence. And we simply want this case to be over. But at least we are happy with even the delays, because with them, we get to understand the story and put all the dots and put all of the puzzle together, nothing hanging. And I think that's why I said on Monday or Tuesday that I give this to Ratha, because he is enabling us to get the story and all of the hidden pieces of all the story. And now I think in the main trial, we will also hear more with other witnesses coming. That is my little bit of my submission for today, Bradeni. I'm simply happy, just that I don't know how to use TikTok. I could have put some little dance in there, after Ratha's delivery, but it's only you, an official minister, who is able to do this kind of dances and put videos there. So thank you, Bradeni.
Thank you. Official minister will help you with the dancing.
During the I'll do that, Pradeni.
Thank you, Mudibu. Mudiboats. Okay, guys, tomorrow is still another working day. Tomorrow is still another court day. Advocate George Baloyi has indicated that he intends calling the people who had taken those confessions and the pointing out. Earlier on, I said my calculation is that this trial will be done by June, and Mutusi, I think, cautioned me correctly so that I am too ambitious. A lot of things can happen, and that is true. A lot of things can happen. A lot of postponements can happen. Muzi can play us and tell us that he doesn't have money anymore. So we will see how it goes. But tomorrow, like I said, it's another court day. There is tons and tons of information that we're still going to hear. We should have seen Sergeant Mokgoatlheng, Sergeant Batobakai, Belina Mokgoatlheng, sitting in court, dealing with a lot of papers and records. I don't think she was just busy with her own thing that she could have done in her office. Chances are that she was sorting out the information that is about to come. So we're still going to encounter tons and tons of data. Like official minister have previously said, that there's a lot of information, and we do understand if people cannot comprehend all that information. So let's call it a day. At this point, we shall be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Street Preacher, in closing.
Yeah, Pradeni, thank you very much, guys. It has been a lovely day. After today, I am quite certain that the opposition or the counter streets will definitely not be soft on us. We must maintain the resolute. We must keep up the tenacity. We must be resilient until justice is served. And we are prepared, especially with the correct information.
Yes.
It is pointless to make noise with incorrect information. You will just be making a nuisance of yourself. So make sure you equip yourself. Do not debate or do not argue a point that you are not sure of until you have the facts, to also protect the integrity and the brand of our life. Because when we go out there, we are also representing this life and the utmost intelligence that is shared amongst the beautiful professionals here. So we do not shy away. We will defend our honor with pride. Otherwise, it is going to be a very, very pleasant morning. I have actually taken an off day tomorrow just to make sure I'm glued on the screen as the pointing outs and the confessions are read. Otherwise, thank you very much, Pradeni. We meet again tomorrow. Thank you, Official Minister. It is always a pleasure and lovely time to hear you educate us. Keep on keeping on, my brother. We love you and all the best tomorrow. Good night.
Good night, and thank you, Street Preacher. Official Minister.
Yeah, what more do I say, Pradeni? It's a good day today. Let's go and rest. The fireworks tomorrow. I know Monday will be too far, but like Thursday, we said Thursday is coming.
Yes.
Monday will also come.
Yes.
Have a good night, guys, to the family of Meiwa. Good night. Our captain is resting, and let those who did this be taken to task. Thank you.
Thank you, Official Minister. And from my side, thank you, guys. Thank you to everybody who joined us across South Africa, from Kwambetu Yajiga, across all the 9 provinces, all those who joined us across our neighboring countries, across Africa, across the world. We thank you for your support, everybody who participated on the comment section, on the panel. 1.6 million likes according to Apple users. Android people are still on 1.5, but we have to trust our Apple users that we are on 1.6 million. Thank you for that. All our gifters, we appreciate your support, guys. Our panelists and Brenda in absentia. Thank you for your assistance and your support always. We are coming back tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place. Remember, when I started, I said tomorrow, once we hear those confessions, the confessions of either Magistrate Kronje or Colonel Rapadu, we are going to give you guidance on what is likely to happen with the alleged mastermind. We are going to be hard on that topic of the mastermind